I see we're at 4 minutes after. Let's go ahead and get started, and if Les needs to join us a little late, he can. We'll call the meeting to order. I will be chairing in Clay's position because he cannot join us. This is a mostly informal conversation to see what everyone feels about the letter, the draft letter that was sent out. It looks like we also have Mike Morgan in the room with Robert and Emily. I don't think we'd intended to take public comment, but maybe if Mike has something he needs to say, he can let us know.
He will.
Okay. I received some written feedback from several people, but let's give those online a chance to provide feedback on the draft letter.
I have none. Thank you. It was a good letter.
Okay.
I have no feedback. I thought the letter was exactly what I had hoped it would be. So thank you so much for that.
No problem. Eric, did you feel that the changes that were made addressed your concerns?
Yeah, no, that was exactly perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to voice that because that was something that was brought up during the meeting. So I think it's after that change, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Aaron, did you have any feedback?
No, Mickey, I thought it was great.
All right, so if we don't have changes, I think this is our opportunity to take a vote unless there's any comments from the chambers.
Can I speak at this point?
Yes, that would be fine.
Okay, I'm just representing the Moons and their point of view. So can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, maybe come up to the podium.
Should I the podium?
Yeah, I got the front facing camera turned.
All right. Okay.
What's your PO box, Mike?
132. In terms of geologic hazards, and this is going to apply to, in general, to a lot of properties on the east side as the city develops in that direction. But the Horning report actually says that the site is inherently it says that this property has very little inherent geologic hazard. Landslides are not consistent. Shallow stormwater will likely need to be controlled with peripheral foundation drains, et cetera. And then he goes on to say that in terms of shaking in a earthquake, it says shaking amplification will be minor because this property rests on weathered bedrock. Amplification occurs in weak, low velocity soils and landslide debris, which are not very thick for the subject parcel. So in terms of landslide and amplification and liquefaction, he mentions liquefaction. So those are three significant geologic hazards that Tom thinks are non-present on this site. And I think that was true on the Schroff subdivision too, when Gerald Schroff did the I wasn't involved in it, but the Schroff property was evaluated, and it was 12 lots and did not have any geologic hazard, and it's proven out. There's several houses up the East Surf Crest without geologic hazard. So I think we have to be careful about saying that there's geologic hazards on the property, and just because it's RL. So that's one thing. The slope density, standard is kind of I was involved originally when we applied the slope density to the zoning code, and it really is a sort of a blunt instrument, because there are plenty of steep slope areas that are more more stable, less, less dangerous than lowlands areas like downtown where liquefaction occurs. And I know it's in the code, the 21 to 30% thing, but just for your future consideration, maybe in the code audit, you really, I think you ought to give some serious thought to what the geologists say on a site by site basis. Okay, so that's geology. In terms of traffic, there was, the Schroep property was 12 lots, and there was no traffic impact study required for the Schroep subdivision. And that was, since that time, there have been, I think, 5 or 6 houses up there, up on East Surf Crest. And I'm a neighbor of the Schroep property, and I must say that I think the traffic impacts of 5 houses off Surf Crest, East Surf Crest, is really nil. It's just I don't know, I don't know if there's ever been a traffic count, but my observation, coming and going is really, over the last 30 years, there's just not been any kind of a significant impact. And certainly with 3 units, you're not going to have 11 units. The Moons are not talking about 11 units at all. They're talking about 3 units, possibly 1 duplex that would be built, and that hence the need for the R2. But the 11, the statement that if the property was built out in the future to contain 11 homes, that I think there is a way to ensure that there's only going to be 3 or possibly 4, 3 structures, possibly 4 dwelling units on that. But ODOT wasn't concerned. I think this you could require a traffic impact study, which would, cost the property owner thousands and thousands of dollars. But I think ODOT, the traffic engineers at ODOT kind of know what they're talking about, and I don't think it's a factor. So that's that. And just, I don't want to speak in just general terms about development east of 101. As Horning points out, there's a 15 to 40% chance of a major Cascadian earthquake in the next 50 years. And I happen to live at 105 feet, so I'm kind of, although I don't know if my house will still be vertical, but I'm one of the lucky ones. But I think that we should be more forward thinking in allowing development on the east side of the highway where the land is stable and it can be developed at higher densities. Mickey, the reason that Tolovana is all of Tolovana from the curves south, except for a strip of R3 and a little commercial area, is that why it's R1 is because the Tolovana residents wanted it to be single family residential when it came into the city. And it, in essence, it doesn't make any sense for that to be the case. I think R2 would be much more appropriate for most of Tolovana to be able to provide more housing options and utilize the land. And I think that's another thing that really I've put my oar in about in terms of the code audit. I really would highly recommend that we utilize as much property to its maximum. I'm not talking about Portland where you can build a fourplex on a 50 by 100 foot lot, but at least a duplex on a 50 by 100 foot lot, like you can on most of the area from the curves north. All of the President Streets, all of those areas are zoned R2. So I think that's something to consider, but there's going to be a lot of requests coming forward to you from property owners on the east side of the highway. And I think you really have to think about the tsunami threat and what that means. So those are my comments, and I'll shut up now, but thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mike. Those are some great points. I really appreciate that you brought them up. Do members of the commission want to deliberate or discuss anything that Mike has raised?
No, I don't.
No.
All right, so my sense would be, I appreciate the points you raised. I feel as though a lot of them are more policy oriented and probably more appropriate for a future discussion or before the city council. I think that we have code in front of us that we are constrained to apply. And so my sense personally is that we move forward with this letter, but I understand the points and I would hope that they could be raised in the future so that we as a city can make that kind of policy determination. So at this point, I think I would like to call for a vote. Could someone make a motion to adopt the letter?
I make a
move to adopt the
motion,
letter.
but I second the motion.
We both,
Who made the motion?
Dorian
Yeah,
did. I
Mike, make
seconded it.
Mr. Bates.
Mr. Bates?
Yeah, I motioned.
All right, would you like to call the roll, please, Emily?
Commissioner Matusek? Commissioner Bates?
Yes.
Commissioner Farrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Sinclair?
Yes.
Commissioner Ostrander?
Yes.
Chair Moritz?
Yes.
Commissioner Matusek, can you hear me now?
He may have dropped off.
All right, thank you, Emily.
You bet.
I think this meeting has closed on the letter portion. Is there anything that we have for good of the order?
Mickey, my apologies for coming in late. I had every intention of doing better.
Not a problem in the least. And I appreciate everyone being flexible with our timing changes. All right, I think we are adjourned. Please enjoy the rest of this gorgeous day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.